Hey everybody, I'm Lynn from Pocketful of Paint, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful shamrock filled with succulents for some fun holiday decor. I'm also going to teach you how to use a jigsaw, and we're going to get crafty with our bad selves. You're going to need a few things for this project, but one of the most fun things we're going to use today is a jigsaw. This is one of my favorite tools. It's great for cutting shapes out of wood. My best tip for using a jigsaw is to always hold the power down so the blade is going as fast as it can go. And then move your hand slowly around the piece of wood to cut out your shape. Blade fast, hand slow. The first thing I'm going to do for this project is to trace out my shamrock on a piece of plywood with a Sharpie. But before that, you gotta wear your safety gear. So you're gonna wanna put on your goggles, your safety glasses. They make you look super cool. And then you also want some ear protection for your hearing. I like to wear my headphones and so I can listen to music while I use my saw. As you're using the jigsaw and cutting around your piece of plywood, you may find that it's really hard to cut certain angles. So you'll want to turn off your jigsaw, pull the blade out, and then come back in at a different angle. Once your piece is all cut out, just give it a light sanding with 120 grit sandpaper around the edges. You don't have to go crazy, it's mostly going to be covered up anyway, but just so you don't get any slivers in the process, it's great to give it a little sand down. Now that I've finished cutting out my shamrock on my plywood, I'm going to trace that onto this sheet of coconut fiber, and I'm going to cut that out with some scissors. That's going to line the top of my piece of wood. I'm also going to do a rough cut of burlap around my shamrock. I'm going to make it about 4 inches wider than the actual wood shamrock so that I can fold it over, wrap it around, and hot glue it. And inside I'm going to have my dirt underneath that burlap, between the burlap and the coconut fiber, and that's going to help hold my succulents in place. Before we can begin to plant on the shamrock, we need to glue down the sheet of coconut fiber on top of the wood, and then we're going to wrap it in burlap and fold the edges over and hot glue that as well. As you're gluing around your shamrock, you want to leave one side open. One of the clovers you don't want to glue down just yet. You want to be able to pour some dirt into there for the succulents. I've also cut out a piece of felt to line the back with so that the wood doesn't scratch my door when I hang it on my front door. Before we go any further on our shamrock, we want to flip it over to the back side and screw in a hook. That way, when we're finished, we can hang it up, and it's much easier to do it now than after our succulents are all on top. You can now begin to plant your succulents into the burlap. You'll just want to make little slits, and before you take your succulents and plant it, you'll just get rid of most of the dirt on the roots. Put the roots into the little slit, resting them against the coconut fiber. Don't be too worried about areas like this. Areas like this you can cover up with moss and glue those in, and you won't see that part at the end. So don't be too worried if you get a spot like that. It's okay. You haven't messed up. You will be totally fine. After you get your plant in, you're going to take your moss and you're going to glue. You want to pull the burlap up over the roots as best you can, and then you're going to glue around the edge, and you're going to use your moss to not just hold your succulents in place, but also kind of hold it upright so that when it's hanging, it doesn't tip down. So you want to put a little bit extra on this bottom side of the shamrock. I found my moss, this bag of moss right here. I found this at Joann's, but you can also find it at Walmart and Michael's, and I'm sure Hobby Lobby and any other craft store that you like to go to. You want to continue around your succulent piece until you feel like it's secure in there. You don't want it to be falling out when you hang it on the wall. If you want, you can also use floral clips or even bobby pins to help put a little extra in there if you have a larger succulents. You want to just continue gluing moss around and then cutting and clipping and adding little pieces of succulents. You can also use clippings of succulents. Succulents is really hardy, so even if you clip a piece off like this, that you already have. Pull off a few of the little bottom leaves. If you want, you can propagate those later. You can just stick this in or hot glue it on, and it's gonna last for about a month to 2 months just like that without any roots. So you can have this on your wall hanging for quite a while before these little ones that you've just clipped start to die. These ones, if you don't want a shamrock forever, you can pull these ones back out and replant them and use them somewhere else. So you're not wasting any succulents. You can always reuse it and replant it. Plants like this are great because they have multiple plants in there. So if you can find one that has multiples, that's even better. These succulents cost me about $4 at Home Depot. Just continue around your shamrock shape. Get your edges with some nice clumps of mulch or moss. Not mulch, moss. Continue going all around, planting your succulents, gluing on the moss, and pretty soon you'll be done and ready to hang it on your door. Thanks so much for watching my video today. I hope that it inspires you to get crafty with your bad self. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button or hit the bell. That helps you to get notified every time I post a new video, and subscribe. I would love to have you follow me. You can also find me on Instagram at pocketfulofpaint or my blog at pocketfulofpaint.com. And if you do decide to make this craft or one like it, I would love to see a picture. Go on Instagram and use the hashtag #GetCraftyWithYourBadSelf and tag me, Pocketfulofpaint. Now go on. Go get crafty with your bad self.